I'm Andrew McCrae, visiting with Dave Robison, who is the Alfalfa business manager at Legacy Seeds. Dave, as you look at the industry, just talk about the trends that you see right now, because certainly things are always changing. What are the latest trends within the industry?
Well, I think that what has been a major trend over the last probably 5 or 6 years is the real goal of having a truly improved quality high forage quality alfalfa. And so therefore in the industry, you have products from different companies, one that has Roundup Ready genetics with it, and another one that was conventional. And there was a significant amount of advertising that went on surrounding those products, of looking at whether it had different characteristics or traits like a low lignin or some other different types of traits that would be brought into the industry that would make a big deal. And so that has really been a major focus in the industry the last couple of years. And frankly, we've been doing an awful lot of testing of our products compared to what we've seen there. We've had conversations with university alfalfa experts. We've had conversations with people that do nutrition work, so nutritionalists and nutrition companies, with universities and so forth. And frankly, one of the questions was, did we miss something? Is there something in our program that is lacking? So and it was really revealing to us that maybe we were on the right path. We just weren't phrasing things the same way that some other people were. And but that high quality has really been a major issue that's been brought to the forefront.
What do you hear from dairy producers out there from what they are looking for? Certainly they want high quality, but what types of things are on their minds?
Well, the number one thing that's actually on the farmer's mind is yield, the same way as it is on every other crop. They want to take off as much forage as possible. They want it to be as high a quality as possible, especially those high performing dairies really do want some really outstanding quality. But at the same time, if that high quality doesn't yield well or doesn't persist well, or those high quality varieties don't yield or persist well, then they don't last on the farm very long, both because the farmer chooses that they don't want to use that product again, or the fact that it needs to be ripped out because it was not as persistent. So therefore, we've got to make sure, and the farmers want this, they want to have the yield and the persistence and the high quality. So that has really been a real staple for Legacy, is to have those that three-legged stool to be balanced such that you can actually sit on it and not fall off. Because if you have super high quality, but your yield is lacking, or your persistence is lacking, or potentially in some instances both were lacking, then you really have not helped that farmer. And so that yield, quality, and persistence, all very, very important. And overemphasizing one may make your stool out of balance.
You work with customers in many countries. Are the industry trends very similar across all those countries? Are there certain parts and regions, not only of a country, but of the world, that are looking for different things when it comes to alfalfa?
Well, in the world, there would be different things. And one, in parts of the world, there's a great deal of restriction of what they can use. For instance, in France, you have to have a very, in parts of other parts of Europe, you have to have a variety that recovers quickly, but also stands beautifully. And oftentimes those products have less leaf to stem ratio than what you would find on, frankly, a typical Legacy variety. So we're doing some work over there now, and they're saying, well, your varieties are leafy and they're beautiful and so forth, but they don't stand as well as our trees. I mean our alfalfa varieties. So, but we've not been breeding for that improved standability, because then we start losing some of the other characteristics that we're looking for. Forage quality is a big deal for us, along with the yield and persistence. But again, if we start breeding more for that standability, we start losing some things. And the leaves are frankly the most important part of the alfalfa plant when we're feeding that to the cows. Other areas of the world, in some parts of the international markets, alfalfa is alfalfa. We've had some exceptionally high yielding trials in South America, have just done very well. But their comment was, well, it's beautiful, but it doesn't get as tall as ours does, because they want it, waist high for every cut. And ours out yields their product, but it doesn't get as tall. So, so those are things, and those are just markets that, frankly, we kind of walk away from. For the North American farmer in particular, what we're finding is that they are looking for the type of products that are going to give them that best yield, quality, and persistence together. And again, the disease package is a major reason that we have the yield and the persistence.
How do you stay up with and even ahead of the trends in the industry?
I would like to tell you we always do that, but we don't. And I think there's other things that maybe we have brought to the market and talked about that other folks haven't. With our expertise that we had, that David Hewsett had, the uniqueness of his, the way he was doing the breeding of his alfalfa compared to the other folks, was making a big difference on being able to get to that three-legged stool, and maybe in a little faster way. And then with the expansion of our greenhouse work and so forth that have come the last couple of years, as we've expanded that line considerably, that even helps even more. So if we're behind in something, we've been able to catch up very quickly, but we've also then been able to take some of our other ideas and move them in advance a little more quickly than maybe some of our competitors have been, just because of the foundation we're working with. It's been a real blessing.
When you look at your competitors out there, where do you believe that you have that competitive advantage when it comes to your product?
I would suggest that when we're talking about products in general, I would suggest that in the fact that we have remained very focused on the balance of that three-legged stool, and we have not run off of that course. And I think that some of the competitors have potentially deviated a tad, and just mainly looking at what products they have on the market today and have had the last number of years. They've run closer to one side of that stool maybe than the others. And our focus has been pretty much, again, keep the nose to the grindstone and keep doing what we know works well and improve on it, and make sure that that we can be the very best that we can be with what we are the best at. And keeping that balance has been very important.
Speaking of balance, how do you balance the seed, the traits with the customer? Because I would think it has to be both. And so you have to somehow balance those two, I would think.
We do. For instance, we're working on a major emphasis on salinity right now, and tolerance. So that as our Western business has increased dramatically, as we've hired a salesman that's now full-time in alfalfa sales, he's exposing us to new markets and or bigger markets, let's say. And it's just really important that now that these last 5-6 years, maybe more than that, really making a major emphasis on that market. No, it's not the biggest market that we could chase in the United States, but as long as we can keep our three-legged stool well, add in the salinity, again, it's not taking more than a certain percentage of the time, but it's an important percentage that we're wanting to make sure is done right. So it's that type of thing is helpful. We're also doing some work with traffic tolerance. We've got the genetics that we know has that sunken crown that adds some traffic tolerance as well, whether it be hoof traffic, but most importantly, the large equipment traffic. And by the way, not even with that, if you're out driving in the field with a heavy truck and it's wet, you're still going to do damage to your alfalfa. So we're not talking about the fact you'll never have issues, and no company can offer that type of guarantee or promise, but it does make a difference. And so we're doing some more work on that as well. So trying again to address needs that the customers are expressing and working with the products we already have and improving them to offer that better answer for the producer.
Talk about how you interact with the sales side, because certainly you are selling this product in the end, so that's very important. So how does what you do interact with what happens on sales?
Well, the nice thing is that I'm very blessed to work with both the breeding team and also with the sales side and the production side. And my interaction with them is to make sure that they have the assurances that the products that are in the bag are really outstanding. And we provide for them the data and the tours at the research farm and a variety of other opportunities for people to come and see the legacy difference. And that's been a real good thing. It's neat to see the light bulb come on in a salesman's head, because then he can also then hopefully bring that same light into the mind of his dealer or into the light of that farmer, saying, you know what, there really truly is a difference. So that's been a real fun opportunity that I've had to work with the sales staff.
You mentioned the legacy difference. What are some of those things that you believe make up that difference?
Well, I think that the fact that we have the opportunities to bring products to the farm that truly make an improvement in the farmer's profitability, that return on investment is really an important thing for our company. Yes, our company needs to be profitable, but what I'm talking about is the fact that when a farmer buys a product that was bred by Legacy Seeds, he's going to find that that product, when properly placed, is going to give him the best opportunity. We believe give him the very best opportunity to have the best profitability. And we also then we can offer them the service to help them to be able to have that best experience with the legacy products. And then also the fact that it help them troubleshoot with things or answer their questions. And so we're at a little more personal level that can really assist where they need assistance. We do work with nutritionists. We work with a variety of other groups, universities, and so forth, recognizing that we are a smaller company, that we reach out to the industry as a whole and make sure that, number one, we're on the right page, but also understanding of the needs that they have. And that's uniqueness. And in some of the breeding practices that Dave has had and Olivia's building on have also helped us to have some uniqueness, distinct uniqueness in the industry.
It sounds like that the relationship process is really key to what you do at Legacy.
It is. Sometimes I think the guys get tired of hearing from me or seeing my emails, but it is really very important that the folks on the Alfalfa team communicate regularly and that we all make sure we're on the same page. It would be a sad day when Olivia's breeding some products that she thought that we needed that we really don't need, or vice versa, that we need something and we didn't tell her of those needs. And I think that from us, and recognizing it sometimes takes as many as 9 years to get a variety onto the market, we need to be communicating very effectively and very often to make sure that we're all moving that same path, and realizing that there may be some years that we're like, oh yeah, we really need this over here too. Well, that's fine. It doesn't stop the process of those products that she started breeding 2, 3, 4 years ago. And she's still taking those forward as well. So it's a very important aspect of what we do.
What is it that you hope customers say about the quality of the forage, the quality of the relationship after working with Legacy?
I hope they say they never want to use anything else. It's pretty rare when a customer, when a farmer uses legacy bred alfalfa, that they use anything else. The satisfaction level has been exceptionally high, and as long as there's good follow up on the backside through the sales staff and and the different folks that are working with that guy. As long as he knows it's available, our percentage of customers we keep is very, very high. So I hope they say, I never want to use anything else. Please give me your best new product. And we hear that. I got a call this year from a farmer out east that's been using legacy bred products for 14 years. And he said, I will never use any alfalfa other than legacy bred alfalfa, ever. He said, I out yield my neighbors. I have higher quality. My cows milk more. He said, they all use other products. And now they're coming to me wondering, what in the world am I doing that's better than them? And he said, I'm using legacy bred products. So, and then he asked, can I be a salesman for you? So that's an exciting thing. And that's, again, part of our uniqueness is we're focusing on him. We want him to have the best experience. And we want the neighbors to come have that same experience and find out what does make them different.
Well, stories like that have to make you and the team feel pretty proud of what you do.
It does. I shared that with everybody. Yeah, you get pretty pumped up when you realize you're impacting a farmer the way that, I mean, I talk about our desire to help farmers to have that best return on investment. When you get a call from one of them that actually says, mine's better than everybody in the neighborhood, and they're all coming to me asking about it, boy, that just assures you you're on that right path. And it's such a blessing to hear that.
Dave, I appreciate the time and the chance to learn more about Legacy.
All right. Well, thank you, Andrew.